All right, today we're going to talk about Chinese-made thundercats that you can get for about $1,200 on Alibaba. We've been running the blue boat for almost 2 years now, and this gray one for a little less than 1 year. First thing I want to say is we didn't buy these boats for typical thundercat use. We bought them for diving. You should be using a 15-inch short shaft motor with these boats, but they're very difficult to get a hold of, and we're making do with the long shaft. We were looking for the cheapest, lightest, fastest, and most capable and fuel-efficient boats that we could get our hands on. You really just can't beat this type of platform, given that, of course, you're going to be wearing a wetsuit. So I reached out to a group of thundercat racers that all run the real deal, big brand South African boats, and wanted to know their opinions on the construction of this. So we'll talk about that. The sidewalls on the hijackers could be a little bit tighter, and you can see my floor has a little bit of sag to it. We do like the stainless steel tube transom. We have a TIG welder, so we can do whatever we want to it. And the leather snaps on the pocket, I put those on there because the Velcro was definitely inadequate. This one has 4 aluminum floor sections, which is a little bit soft. The other boat has 3 sections, which definitely is firmer. And we put the foam over the top of it, and then I can just drill into the aluminum and put rivet nuts in there wherever I want. I don't know if Giotha will ever see this video, but if they are listening, the thundercat racers don't really like the pockets inside the boat, and they'd kind of also like to see the hog strip on the top where the rope is to be a bit longer. There again, you can see where that sidewall could be a little bit tighter. To raise the motor, I welded on that 2-inch stainless tube on the top, and I've also added another inch recently, and we're about to go test that out. I also just put this Mercedes steering dampener on each of our boats, and we're going to go test that out today too. The hijackers do have a nice flat bottom on them, so that's pretty important. You're gonna crap your pants when you see how low my prop is hanging down. Normally, you should be running center prop at the same height as your hijacker plugs, but we're doing the best we can with what we got, and we'll never be able to run a surface prop. This prop was only $280, including the hub kit, and I'm not gonna complain. The biggest flaw that people will say these boats have is that they can't take the heat. The mobilizer in the PVC will eventually leach out into the glue in the seams, and then all your seams will start failing. So if you have one of these, keep it out of the heat. We're doing just fine. We're up in Idaho and we're in the cold most of the time, and we haven't had any issues. But if you're in a hot climate, you might want to move on to one of the South African boats. They're going to be expensive, but you won't have to deal with the seams constantly coming apart because you've left it out in the sun. Color choice on the boat makes a big difference. My blue boat barely gets warm to the touch, even when we're out in the summer. This one, you can notably tell the dark blue compared to the gray actually really soaks up a lot more heat. But also, I will have to say that these guys will make these boats out of Orca Hypalon for you if you want. It's $3,000 to do that, but then you're going to have a really tough boat and you won't have to worry about the heat. So that is an option. These two boats are built with 1.2 millimeter PVC instead of the normal 0.9 millimeter. So they got a little bit of extra toughness to them. Another thing that was mentioned is that these boats don't have any riding ropes up front for in case you flip the boat. And trust me, if you flip one of these, it's because you're being a total crazy pants out on the water. Thundercats are a really incredible platform, and you can thrash them super hard and they stay really stable. Today the water was all glassy and not that fun, so I'll just throw in some mixed video of us running these around.
Are you gonna be alright if we keep going? Yeah, just don't get too crazy.
I'm still recovering from my bicep tendon reattachment, so I have to be careful and I can't hold on with my left arm. And yes, compared to what most people are doing with these boats, this is being careful. This lake has claimed a number of lives over the years, so we wanted to make sure we got a boat that we could depend on. We're in this kind of weather all the time, and you can see why the longshaft and keeping the prop in the water a little bit deeper seems to be working pretty well for us. So the question is, are we happy with these boats? Would we buy them again? I would say yes. We're certainly not looking back. Where these boats have taken us for our diving has been beyond worth the cost. We keep trying to remind ourselves that we don't need to be going over 45 miles an hour on the water, we're already pushing our luck by holding our breath 100 feet under the water. But these things are really addictive. At some point, maybe we will buy a real thundercat, like a Mako or a Gemini or an Infanta. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.